Hello and welcome to another episode of Transformation Time. My name is Mushota. I'm a transformational speaker and movable optimist, writer and blogger, and I'm here to help you become the better version of yourself in your personal life as well as your business. I'm here at Olive Crest. It's a lovely venue, as you can see. I love the setup. And speaking of love, today's topic is love. We're going to be talking about love in different aspects. I've been getting a lot of questions, a lot of inquiries when it comes to love, and I thought, this is something that is really on people's hearts. So let's talk about it, because love is very broad, from our families to our relationships, to our jobs, to our careers, to so many things that we love, and I just thought it's something that we should address. So now, speaking of love, where do I start from? Most of the questions that I've been getting is to do with business, to do with relationships. So now I'm going to start with the relationship aspect. The most important thing about love is that it begins with you. You cannot expect other people to give you the love if you don't already love yourself. Most times, a lot of people inbox me saying, they're looking for partners, or they want to know my, status. They want to know what love, am I going to be talking about love? Am I going to be transforming people in their love aspect? The truth of the matter is that love is so broad, and love is something very personal, and it's something that all of us cannot define in one word. Because situations, change our love aspect. Situations, they make us see love in a different way. So now, when it comes to, platonic relationships, which is our everyday relationships, your brother, your sister, your friends, it almost comes naturally, because you have to sort of like remember that these people are either your bloodline, or these are people that you've grown up with, these are people from school. But then when it comes to the heart-to-heart issues, this is something where you have to wake up and remember that every day you have to choose to love the person that you've decided to be in a relationship with. Now, when it comes to relationships, it's one of those things where people don't have all the answers. Even I don't have the answer. And I will only speak from my experiences, from the things that I've seen around me, from relationships that have inspired me, or relationships that I've learned lessons from. But one thing is very, very clear. You cannot give out love that you already don't have. See, a lot of times people enter into toxic relationships because at the end of the day, they haven't really fully understood themselves. So when something goes wrong, they're not too sure what really happened. But every single time, you need to remember that you need to sit down and introspect. What is it about you that you value? What is it about you that you like? What is it about you that you love? What sort of activities do you enjoy? All those things come into play, because at the end of the day, these are the things that are going to come out even when you are in a man-woman relationship. Because at the end of the day, the person that comes into your life has to value those things about you. So do you love yourself is the most important thing. Because whenever you don't love yourself, it's very much evident, especially from the outside, and it's very difficult from people on the outside to actually come and tell you otherwise, unless you, of course, have realized that this is the situation that you are in. And at the end of the day, like I said, it's about you choosing. You have to choose every day to wake up to love this person that you're with, because nobody is perfect. No one is perfect in any aspect at all. So you have to love their perfect imperfections, so to speak. There's so many songs that have been written about love because people don't know how to express this emotion. They ask themselves questions over and over again. But what is important is to take it one day at a time. Learn to understand, what is it about this person that I love? Am I willing to, go the extra mile with this person? All those things you need to ask yourself. What do they come with? Don't just, love them for, the things that they come with, but embrace the things that they have, whether it's their career, whether it's their mindset, their business, their children, because relationships come in different ways. And it's very, very important that you sit down and know exactly what you want, because what you want is what you're going to attract. If you're not sure yourself, you'll find yourself going in and out of relationships, or you'll find yourself in one toxic relationship for a long time and not understanding why you found yourself in that position. So now it's very important to sit down and introspect and tick those things. Say, tell yourself, write them down, know exactly what it is. Not to say that you should have a checklist, so to speak, so that when somebody comes, you're there ticking off. Are they tall? Are they dark and handsome? Are they pretty? Can they talk? All those things are just, they're sort of like attributes that should complement the person, but not necessarily be the defining factor. Of course, they play a big role, but what is important is that you are friends. You need to make sure that you're friends with the person that you decide to be in a relationship with, because friendship is what will set the foundation. Friendship is what will help you to move further. Friendship is something that will help you to overcome every obstacle. Friendship is something that will build you at the end of the day, something that will cement everything that you've wanted and valued about yourself. Because with a friend, you see, you can talk about so many things. You can understand each other. You can be in the same room and not always be talking, but understand that their presence is what's really important. With friendship, you can be able to discuss issues of finances without feeling very reserved, without feeling like you need to hide anything. When it comes to friendship, you'll be able to discuss every manner of your relationship without any reservation. So guys, reservation is not really good in a relationship, because most people go into relationships, with a lot of pretense. So they find that weeks later, months later, years later, they're now entangled in so many things that it's not as easy to get out of, because they start to compromise. They start to think to themselves, what if and what if and what if. And when you reach that point, it's very difficult, because you're sort of like looking back and you're asking yourself, what is it that you could have done better? But you see, it's never too late, only that your journey for you to transform into a better relationship is going to be very difficult. So you need to make sure that the core aspect of your relationship is friendship. Because you see, with friendship, even as time fades, as children leave the nest, as you grow older, as maybe you don't have the same jobs, or maybe you're not traveling as much, maybe you don't, you now have so much time on your hands, and you're looking at each other and you might be thinking, okay, so what is it that we had if we didn't have friendship? That's why friendship is very important, because you can still tackle so many things. You can enjoy, the life that you've always wanted. You can be sitting back and remembering and looking at your good memories. And then also you can be a source of inspiration to those that, are going into relationships, or those who feel like, relationships are not for them, because they're probably wondering, years on, years later, are we going to be the same people? It's very important that even as friends, you reach that point where you can respect each other, where you can, ask each other questions, like I said, without reservation, where you can, be at a point where you respect everything about your friend and what it is that they value as well. Because remember, if you're going into this thing and you love yourself and you know yourself, you know what you're about, there's no way that somebody else is going to make you feel inferior. There's no way that you're going to go into a space where you feel without, these people you cannot survive. And that's why it's very important that you come to that place where nothing moves you, that the joy comes from within you, that the happiness comes from within you, that you're so comfortable in your own skin that you can sit by yourself and actually be content. Because a lot of people have, this mindset that they cannot do with certain, without certain people. And that is where also that bridge comes in, where you're standing there and you're thinking, what next if this person is not in my life? What next if I can't achieve the things that I wanted to achieve because this person was my pusher? It's well and good to have people that drive you, and that's what they should be there for. They should be your pusher, your number one friend, your BFF, your bae, as people are calling them these days, and everything. But they should be your friend. That is the most important thing. So how do you cement all these things together? How do you then come out of, that whole toxic thing if you're not, if you're not too sure how to come out of it? It's just about going back. It's about sitting down and looking at the things that bring you happiness, looking at the things that bring you joy. Who are the other people that you spend time with outside? Look to them and let them refuel you with, everything that you've been depleted of. Go back to that happy place and start to remember all the goodness about you. Begin to appreciate yourself. Start a self-love, journal. You can do it for 30 days, every day. Write down what it is that you're grateful for, about yourself. What are your talents, your skills, your abilities? What do people say about you? Those are the things that you should go back on. So by the time someone comes to validate something about you, it's something that you already know and you can not be moved by it. And then also, speaking of validation, we now begin to talk about the relationships on the outside. Who are you spending time with? Who are the people that are speaking into your life? Who are the people that you get that, information from, to move you to the next place? Because sometimes, when it comes to, loving the people outside, we also come to a point where maybe their opinion matters more than our own opinion. And that shouldn't be the case, because you see, everyone around us should be a support system, our tribe, our go-to people, but they shouldn't be our final decision in everything that we make in life. We go to them for inspiration. We can go to them, to solidify some sort of, level of contentment, but it shouldn't be the final thing. The friendships on the outside ultimately will also determine the altitude levels that we reach with everything that we are trying to do. And that's why, there's the old saying that says, birds that flock together, they have the same attributes. They come from the same, tribe, as I was saying. And even if you remember, a long time ago, they would always tell you, be careful about this person, be careful about that person, or, I like that person, you should see them more often, you should see them more often. Why? Because even people from the outside can see certain attributes that people around us have. So guys, at the end of the day, it really matters who you surround yourself with. You need to be intentional about every relationship that you engage in. So you need to look at your friends. What is it that they have achieved? What is it that they're trying to achieve? What is it that they're trying to become? And are you falling in line with that? Because if you're disaligned, then at the end of the day, you're going to be looking around and wondering, why are people achieving more than me? Or why am I achieving more than certain people? You need to make sure that the level of friendship that you have, you are very, very intentional about it. Don't just, move around with, every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Make sure that every relationship is intentional. And this goes for every kind of relationship, from your work relationship to your family members to, the people that you come along with. Make sure that you're networking in the right places, because when it comes to you transforming your life and becoming a better version of yourself, you're the only one who is responsible. Every final decision is made by you. So the only thing that I can really, really point out, if there's something that you should take out of all this chat, is that be intentional, know yourself, love yourself. Set yourself goals that, they cannot be moved by any circumstance, because you know where you're going. Do not be distracted because of what other people are saying. Validation is only, purposeful when it comes in at a point where it's already, amplifying what you believe in. So if this episode has really inspired you, this episode has changed your mental mindset in a positive way, I would love to hear from you. Let's continue this conversation. Let's make sure that we are, asking the right questions. If there's something that you didn't understand, we can always go back to it. Follow me on social media at Mushota TT. That's on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, as well as Periscope. And make sure that you subscribe to the newsletter on my website. It's www.karolmushotatv.com. Thank you so much for watching today's episode, and we'll see you next time.